I'm Matt Braunger. This might help.
I am not a doctor.
This might help.
I'm not a professional.
Let's have fun. This honestly is a good time.
Honestly, I got no idea what I'm doing. What's going on? Who are you?
I'm Matt Braunger. This might help. The podcast. Hey, welcome to This Might Help with Matt Braunger, the non-serious advice podcast that doesn't know why it's giving advice. As always, thank you so much for calling. Guys, it's here. The episode all the mighties have been asking for. My brother, my pal, Kyle Kinane. Kyle, welcome. What's happening, buddy?
Hi, buddy. I got a bad case of mask beard right now, so I'm fluffing.
Where you been?
I got a primp and preen. Oh, man, it was a hot day in Beaverton where I had to go get a battery changed in the van at the Ford dealership, but I got some soup.
Nice.
I was doing exactly what I look like I should be doing.
It's like Kyle Kinane fan fiction right there. Someone just wrote that for you.
I had a joke about how I hate this commodification of being and that there's personal brands instead of just existing. But then the crux of the joke is you just nail your personal brand so often. You're like, yeah, that is a real thing.
As much as you hate it.
I'm unique, and then you just have a regular day. You're like, that's exactly what somebody could have made up about what I would have done today.
I am profilable. Someone can go ahead and profile me, and
I am the most simple bitch that out there.
I think with mine, the thing that people got wrong more than often is that I remember people just been like, and I'm sure you get this. There's always partying, always having a drink. It's like, no. If I drank as much as people thought I did, I'd probably be dead.
yeah. I mean, that's the age old, like going on the road. I would love to make sure that my whatever I'm doing with comedy appeals to a range of people.
Sure.
But then, you get the 27-year-old, 28-year-olds at the show. I'll buy you a shot. I'm like, please don't. Please don't buy me a shot.
Please don't. No, we've talked about this, but I think pretty much that's why Dave Attell got sober. Just people sending shots to the stage all the time and him doing Insomniac and him going, wait, this is what I'm known for? I have to stop.
Yeah, or just don't make it part of your public persona. Well, I mean, I don't really hang out after shows just because I don't know.
No.
I don't know how to hang out with strangers if I'm not drinking, but I also can't just get drunk with strangers every night of my life. So.
No, that's such danger. I like to hang out with the staff once everyone's gone, like when they're having a shift drink, but no, strangers. Anytime people are like, we're all going to this bar. I'm good. Thanks for telling me where not to go. I appreciate that.
I disappear back to the Hampton Inn. That's me.
Yeah.
Kicking it at the old ham bone.
So what were your holidays? What happened?
You
went tropical.
I did. I went from a 10-day run with old Dave Stone.
Nice.
We went Miami to New Orleans. And then I had 48 hours of no sleep between, or roughly that, peppered naps between getting from Miami to Oregon to then Maui. And then I was sick as shit for the first 2 days I was there.
Wow.
Don't know if it was the what have you, but we all got it, gonna get it, had it already.
Me too.
Yeah, I did my shots. I did what I was supposed to do. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do in this world,
Right.
And then, it was 17 days. Went to Maui, and it was great. And I was really like, oh, these numbers are surging. Sure hope I don't get stuck here. But,
oh, no.
You know what, America? You couldn't pull it together. And, you kept the numbers down enough that they didn't quarantine us in Hawaii. And then, I got back a week ago, and it's just a gray, wet Oregon. How did you do this? How did you do this?
I don't know. I think you just
advice.
I think I just kind of zoned out. I remember fall and in some of winter we had soccer practice. And I remember waiting for my parents as it slowly got darker. And I remember flashing back to those times I don't know why I didn't just immediately think I'd get abducted or something, or because it just the atmosphere was, it's just, it's wet and gray and cold and it gets dark so early. And it's the wetness that mostly got to me, where I was just this is dismal.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be pedophiles. I think it's just people who are just lonely up here. I'm going to grab this kid and maybe they want to play some Uno.
Want someone to sit with and watch a movie. Yeah.
I'm not going to touch you. I just want to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Dude, speaking of depressing, I tested positive Christmas Eve. I was at the in-laws place and we were going to go out to Chengdu, this awesome Chinese restaurant with enormous Mai Tais that we go every year. And I'm like excited, but I also I felt like crap for 2 days. And Kara's like, you're just run down. You're fine.
Yeah.
I tested negative and I was like, okay. And then the next day we're about to leave. And I'm like, let me test one more time. Positive. Everyone else in the house negative. And I went and moved into a hotel. So I was in a hotel in Mansfield, Massachusetts for almost a week. Family flew home without me. Like no one could, like people would bring me meals. It's like patient zero, as I was known to the family.
What did you do to your body in that time?
Nothing. I mean, I didn't have a lot of appetite. I felt like crap. I just felt like lethargic and shitty. I couldn't even, it's like, I shouldn't watch so much TV. I'll read, and I read 2 pages and the concentration would hurt my brain. Like it wasn't fun.
Yeah. 3 days
so
of forced. Yeah. 3 days into of that, I would have been like, we're gonna start playing with our butthole.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
we're gonna learn about our body at this point.
Let's see where a bar of soap will fit and won't.
It depends. How many showers have you taken that week?
Oh my God. Yeah. It just, at a certain point, you're like, I get it, like enough. So I tested negative and flew home that day and landed 10:30 at LAX. And we all sat in the tarmac for 2 hours. And that's especially fun when there's a couple behind you that will not stop fucking whining. Will not. And I was just like, yeah, are we 7? Like fucking this woman just like, I just want to go home. I want to get on the 405 and drive home. It was like that, a mantra. And I'm like, oh, and then we get off and our bags took 2 hours. I landed at 10:30 PM, got home at 3:30 in the morning. And then, but was so happy to be home. I just didn't care. Like, I was like, the bags will come when they come. Everyone tested positive. Yeah. Like they have no staff. Any employee you asked would be like, sir, I have to tell you. And you could tell they were like on like 2 hours of sleep for the past 3 days or something. So I was like, hey, do you know, are the bags just out on the tarmac? And the guy's like, sir, I was like, got it. You don't have to keep going, man. I get you. I feel you. I'm so sorry.
Can we acknowledge that? And I think it's Janelle James has a bit about it right now on her Netflix thing. It's just about how like there's bus people on airplanes now. Like the quality of passenger that's on an airline.
Bus people.
But I would also like to put to the fact that air travel is utter dog shit. Yeah. I get that the technology and the science behind getting people is amazing, but every other aspect outside of the technology has completely eroded. Right. Like any business where you can like, well, we have 100 seats, but we sell 150. And if 150 people show up, we just do a little juggling. Like that's legal. Yeah, totally. You've allowed that to be legal in your industry. You know what? Anytime somebody's like, oh, a gate agent got punched, I never agree with it.
No,
because that's just the unfortunate first line of defense. But maybe if airlines didn't create situations,
the companies are so at fault with this shit. I mean, I've seen countless people like on the news that are like, yeah, this is terrible, but it could have been headed off at the pass. Like they've been, just trying to cut their margin. It's just, and
comedians complaining about air travel. I wonder what that take is going to be. I wonder if the comedians have any opinion on air travel.
Yeah. Do they ever?
It's gotten so bad I started flying United again because I'm like,
oh no,
nobody's. It's not that they've gotten better. It's just everybody else has just gotten sunk to the same level of trash that my United boycott is like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore because you're all a garbage industry.
100%. Yeah.
So anyway, funny.
Well, look,
airplanes.
Okay, we've touched bases. We've bitched about the airlines. I have to say we got more calls than we've ever got for anyone. So kudos. I don't know
I'm
if
the
it's just
last
you.
person that should be giving advice.
I don't know if it's the
anything.
history. No, but that's the joy. I don't want to have Deepak Chopra on here. I don't want people that know what they're talking about. I want people that went through some shit and can give a little bit of insight. But Lord knows, I always say on this show, if you need real advice, this is not it. So this is
Deepak
fun.
sounds like a guy that was in Wu-Tang before they blew up.
Yeah, it's a hardcore name.
Yeah.
Very consonant
Deepak.
heavy. Those are strong syllables.
Deepak got sent up for 10 to 15 right before we recorded the
Deepak
demo.
Deepak, Ghostface, and 60-Second Assassin had the best verse on their latest single. Okay, so on that note, let's get to them. Are you ready for the first call? I don't know what they are.
Help some people.
Let's help some people with our helpfulness. Roll the first call, sir.
Hello, Matt and Kyle. This is Jared. Big fan of you both. First off, thank you all for Hey Girl. That was a lot of fun during the pandemic. Helped me out quite a bit. My question is, my wife and I have been married for about 13 years this year, and we don't have any kids. It just never happens. Looked into it. There's been medical stuff. It just looks like it's not necessarily in the cards for us. Of course, that could change. We're open to it, but we're also, I think for the first time, really open to a life without kids as well. And seeing as you have kind of diametric experiences on both sides of the coin, we're 36. Can you kind of ghost of Christmas future us into, I don't want to say pros and cons, but just, how is life with? How is life without? We're really in a spot where we could potentially adopt. Again, some miracle could happen, but we're pretty ambivalent right now. So if you could just talk about your experiences with kids, without kids, what led to your decisions either way. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Let's decide who's right, who's wrong. What is the better life for once and for all?
There's no middle ground to this issue.
No.
Thank God. This is a very
and we are absolutely the final word for sure. The childless guy and the guy who had a kid at 47. That's definitely those are the two sides. Jared, thanks for your call. One thing I'll start off with saying, my wife and I specifically decided on only having one so as to not fuck our lifestyle completely. In her words, you either have one or you have six. You either ruin your life completely or affect it. So that's like you said about yourself, that could change. I don't think it will.
A lot of pressure on that kid.
I mean, yeah. But hey, I was an only child and I was a straight A student and I never touched any alcohol or drugs. So,
Never based a life around seeking approval of strangers.
Never. No, never. Oh, Christ. Yeah, that is my life. That is my life.
That's mine too.
Yeah, I know.
And I had a sibling, so go figure.
I don't know, Jared. There's no right, there's no wrong. Rose has made my life exponentially better, but definitely harder. But that said, Kyle, what are your thoughts?
I have my opinions. Again, neither right nor wrong. I will say I question. You never hear any parent say this was a mistake. Like, you can't say that. Once you're a parent, you cannot say I shouldn't have done this. Like, you just can't say that. So I don't think you ever get the truth from a parent. No offense, Matt, but I don't think you'll ever get the truth. It's like a parent.
Only anonymous like write-ins or call-ins or people like, I just don't feel anything,
Yeah.
And sure, that is the risk. But
this is me speaking about myself. I am clinically indifferent to children. I'm like, they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Much like professional tennis. It's out there. People enjoy it. It has nothing to do with my life whatsoever.
Sure.
I never dreamed about it, planned about it. I'm 45 and I still have no part of my life that I feel is lacking or there's a void that needs to be filled. which is maybe not how you should be looking at your life if you want to have a child.
That's exactly right. I think people, when they don't have kids, think, well, but still, I like it. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's good. We have too many children on this earth. Overpopulation is a thing.
Well, that's my cold angle. I could look at it from my cold angle, where I call children pollution until they prove themselves otherwise. That's the very cold version of Kyle that I'm trying to get rid of. I'm trying to be more benevolent and fulfill this unwitting Santa role I get every and once October's over with.
Sure.
But I don't like people like having a kid will change your life. I'm like, that's why I'm not doing it. My shit's dope. I don't want to change anything.
Yeah, who had that bit? God damn it. What's his name? Was huge in Australia. Talked real slow, good looking guy. God damn it. But he had a bit about
Barker.
Yes. He's like, now that I have my life exactly the way I wanted, let me ruin it completely with a stranger. You know, like I'm butchering a bit, but that it was like, yeah, that's exactly it. We had it so we had our lives ready for it, as ready as you can be. And I think it does, at least with me and with Kara, it's a chemical thing that makes you go, the same feeling you get when like an old friend shows up. It's like when she wakes up in the morning, like, holy shit, you're back. Awesome. I feel great. You know, that is so, I'm so excited to see you.
I was like when an old friend shows up, like, oh man, we used to do a bunch of coke.
We used to do so much blow me in this baby.
To Rose every morning.
How do you feel today? You're doing that one. Jesus, how's your
Mexico? Head? Me neither.
Do you remember any of last night, Rose? No, but it's, my point is, it's a chemical that's in me, that's in Kara, that's in Rose, that's in no one else. Like that's why I don't bore any friends with, the way it feels. Cause it's like, no one would relate. So it's something that's private for us. And I genuinely think if Jared wanted to have a kid, like that chemical would be released in him. But to your point, Kyle, sometimes I think it isn't, you know what I mean? There is that time where someone has a kid and is like, fuck, what have I done? You know, but we lucked out. Like we got a really sweet kid. Like she's really, you know, she's crazy, but she's, you know, we raised her with Kara, like always had the mentality like her parents did, like that kid will be fine. Don't fucking helicopter, let her find her own shit. Let her bang her head on the ground if she needs, you know, like fall down here, get yourself up. Let me help you. So we don't, you know, like freak out when something happens. And so she doesn't have that, you know, and outside of normal anxiety, as far as I can tell. But it's anyway for me. It's
warrior parenting, just straight up like Eric Bana with Hannah. Was that the name of that movie?
Yeah.
If you're not raising your kid like that, what's the point?
God.
If you're living in America now and you're not raising your child to be a woodland assassin,
I watched that movie and was like, no, that's exhausting. I think me and my kid we should just both die if it's that bad. That I get it. That guy lived a life where they're going to hunt him the rest of his life. So he's got to raise his kid like that. But you know,
that's how I feel. We all are. I see like, to baby yoga classes. You're just raising fodder. You're just raising food for the ruling class, for the hunters. They need skills
when everything collapses. Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah.
We'll get Rose an engraved butterfly knife for her second birthday.
Fucking Christian Duguay's podcast, Valley Heat, you know, where Doug is like, just talk. He's like, yeah, you remember butterfly knives when you were a kid? Those knives were like, to open the knife, you have to do like a magic trick or a card trick. And then it always stands out in my head. Dumbest fucking reference. Okay, Jared, I hope that helps. Let's get to the next call.
Oh, yeah, Matt and Kyle. This is Chris from St. Louis. Calling to see if you guys can help me with this unresolved pandemic marital dispute. My wife sat down and watched an episode of Unsolved Mysteries with me one night without knowing what it was. And then it ended, and she immediately got angry that the mystery wasn't solved. She went on a little bit of a rant about how Dateline is better because they always reveal who the murderer is at the end, even though it's always the spouse. So anyway, my question for you guys is, what's the better murder mystery show? Is it Unsolved Mysteries or Dateline? I say Unsolved Mysteries because, you know, once you start watching it, you're basically a deputized law enforcement agent. She says Dateline and refuses to change her opinion. You guys can help me solve this or not. Only one of us is going to end up mad. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Man, I went through the same thing. I felt like it was an Unsolved Mysteries podcast, and Rachel and I were listening to it on a road trip. And then it got to the end. She was the same thing. She's like, well, what? So they just don't even tell you what happened? Like, no, it's called Unsolved.
Unsolved.
Like, yeah, now here's the rest of here. Now you get to theorize on what happened.
Yeah. I did like that about, like, there's one that was a hairdresser that was murdered, and this guy, like her ex-husband, by the end, I'm like, that guy did it. He covered all the evidence. That guy did it. He did it. You know, and it's like, I went away from it like going, hopefully karma gets him or something, but like every, you know.
How many Unsolved Mysteries were still like, but this guy. Also, but this guy. We don't have evidence that he was never charged, but look at this fucking guy.
Look at him.
Right here.
Look at this fucking
it
dude.
was him.
Yeah.
So that guy still has to live his life being like, he saw me in Unsolved Mysteries. Huh?
For me, I think it just comes down to whether you want to see an unsolved mystery. It says it, like Kyle said in the title, Unsolved, or Dateline, where there's a fucking clump of commercials every 30 seconds. Dateline, my mother-in-law watches it. It's fun, but it literally has a cliffhanger every 2 minutes, and you're like, holy shit, another. That's why Dateline has ruled the airways for so long, because they can pack in 1,000 sponsors and make billions from just selling ad space. I mean, the commercial. It's out of hand. It's
also,
out of hand.
Is it still that dude that just looks like a straight up ghost?
Oh, really?
It's not even a cliffhanger. Just every commercial break, and then he drove to the store, or did he?
Did he?
Next on Dateline,
coming up.
He went to
the store.
That's all they have to do is sow doubt in their final statement of that section to make it a cliffhanger.
He was just craving hot Cheetos. It wasn't.
Yeah, that dude that's just all angles and white hair.
Yeah.
Guy looks like that guy looks like a ghost of a Picasso painting.
If that guy's talking to you, something horrible has happened in your life. It's never, it's the goal of every American to never sit down with that man. Like, work your way through your trauma, because
how much you get paid to talk about your dead family?
Good question. How much scratch do you get for telling the story of your dead friend?
Because it's solved. Like, if it's Unsolved Mysteries, I could see why you would have motivation.
That guy kicks it down the road. If it's Unsolved, if it's solved,
but
just him and his crew jump on it.
Yeah, they killed my wife anyway. I gotta get into makeup now.
Yeah. Oh, we're flying in a woman from Omaha at 3. She lost her whole family, and then at 5, we're flying in a family that lost the parents of the father. So,
see, I just thought it was like drunk history. Like, they at least have the decency to come to your own home.
Maybe it always just looked like they're on a soundstage, but you might be right. Maybe that guy does fly to all these towns. That'd be so weird to see him at the airport and be like, "Hey, so what's the murder?
Who you got here?
What happened? Can you just give me I'm a big fan. Just give me a little Cliff's Notes here, dude."
Well, but to answer the caller's question, I feel like it's really just it truly is a personal preference.
Yep.
I like a Dateline myself as much as an Unsolved Mysteries, but Unsolved Mysteries wasn't always murder either. It was mystery.
Yes, and Dateline I love watching with my wife's mom, because she's got this super thick Northeast accent, and just like, oh my God, at every little turn, and it's like the play-by-plays are fantastic, and we'll talk like it's great. So it's like I'm kind of biased toward the Dateline experience, because it also means vacation. If I'm there, it's vacation. I'm not just watching Dateline at home.
No, it's like hotel air conditioning. Like, oh, this is what it feels like to be in Florida on June 15th when I'm 9 years old.
Yes. I will say we got a projector during the lockdown, and we would show little we'd watch, me and the neighbors in the cul-de-sac would put out lawn chairs and watch stuff. And we binged the Netflix, the new generation of Unsolved Mysteries. And it was like a lot of, oh, well, we're all going to bed unsatisfied. Okay. But that's what the show is. It's Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. If you want to be a detective, watch Unsolved Mysteries. If you just want to be a consumer, Dateline.
Yeah. Unsolved Mysteries probably owns stock in like Reddit, because as soon as one of those things comes out, people have to jump on there and they're like, I think it was the mailman. You're crazy.
You know, a lot of Cheeto fingers cracking the case out there.
A lot of armchair detectives. Yeah. Well, hope that helps, man. We didn't give a definitive answer, but I don't think there is one.
Both. The only unsolved mystery here is who's going to go to bed angry out of your household.
That's really it. Call back and let us know. Thanks for calling. All right. Call number 3, please.
Hey, Matt and Kyle. Happy New Year. Hey, girls. Actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or if only you two are allowed to say that.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, Happy New Year. This is Erica, not Aaron. Erica calling. It's with a very low stakes question for advice.
Thank God.
I'm kind of a cat lady, not a crazy cat lady. I've got 2 cats. My boyfriend says no more than 2 cats. I mean, we've been living together for 12-ish years, so it's not like we're a new thing together. You guys are good with words. You make your living off of words. I'm not good with words. Can you give me a good argument to try to convince him, yes, I should be able to have 2 more cats to make it 4 cats? No more than that. I do all of the feeding, scooping, vet care, other supplies, everything, hairballs. So, and he just reaps the benefits of cuddles. So, he has no good reason to say no. Let me know what you think. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for calling. This is all Kyle, because Kyle is a cat person. I'm not so much a cat person. I will say I like your chutzpah for adding a full 2 cats, doubling the amount of cats.
Yeah,
not just
that's
the
a
third
wild one.
Maybe you want the symmetry. I don't know, but take it away, Kyle.
I mean, if you want to go full sinister, get some doctored up vet notices that say the 2 cats you have now are near death. And that in order to, transition the 2 new cats into behaving like the cats he already appreciates, they need to assimilate to one another. And so you're like, well, the new cats will follow the lead of the older cats in the household that will soon perish. And then that's on you. If you, if you believe in hocus pocus stuff, then you don't want to curse your 2 existing cats.
Right.
By putting that into the world. But otherwise, a fake vet notice. These 2 are going to die from insert whatever cat disease you want to. Apparently, you put feline in front of any regular person disease, a cat can have it. They have AIDS, they have leukemia, but you just say feline in front of it. So give it like feline mesothelioma or something. And
don't go with AIDS. It's too much of a push button.
Yeah, you're already really tickling karma a little too much.
Too much. And cat AIDS just comes off like a bad stand-up premise.
Yeah, it's an easy. Feline leukemia is too sad. Feline AIDS too much of a punchline. Feline sickle cell anemia, maybe. I don't know.
Sounds almost racial though.
It does. There's a black cat joke to be made in there, but I'm not going to do it.
Shouldn't be made. Nope.
I'm not going to do it.
Nobody made it.
Feline mesothelioma. That's a safe one. Nobody knows what that is.
Exactly. I don't know what that is, but it's real. Yeah, that's okay. What if she didn't want to go full sinister? What if she didn't want to lie?
I mean, this isn't good. This isn't supposed to be good advice. I'm just giving you the easiest route.
That's fair. That's fair.
If you want I don't know how to justify up into 4 cats. That's wild.
It really is. It's a big ask.
We got one. Yeah, we got one that was a stray cat here, which the Hey Girl fans remember, old little dirt nap, which is fully an indoor cat now.
Okay.
Now this street vermin lives on our home.
Nice.
Yeah, we're pretty happy about
Keeping
it.
warm. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Keeping warm, learn to use its voice, screams in the middle of the night. Just what a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know. 4 cats is a lot.
4 cats.
That's too much cats. I don't know the
that
size
is more
of
to
your
the point.
house.
Yeah.
Are they indoor outdoor cats? Are you living in a small house? 4 is a lot. 4 is a lot.
Yeah, I think you're getting a little greedy there with the 4, because I don't know if it's, kind of like OCD thing for you, or like, which I get, but I and you don't like the number 3. I don't know, but I don't know. I have to add 2 more. 2 more. Saying 2 more to me sounds like okay, let's say you robbed a bank with a note. There's no weapon on your person. You're like, give me the money, or something bad will happen, something like that. And you walked out with a bag of money. You got caught in the parking lot, and you're talking to your lawyer, and you're like, I just can't do any jail time. They'd be like, you're gonna do some, and you're like, no, none. How about I just pay a lot of money? And the lawyer's like, I'm telling you. And you're like, I didn't have a weapon. Like, that doesn't matter. You made this person afraid for their life, and you stole over $5,000. There will be at least a year of your life you're going to lose. And a person's like, no, I can't. That's what you sound like to me. You're arguing for 2 when you might not get 1. Like, just go for the 1. And then if he loves that cat, go for the 4.
Is that the ask? I want 2. All right, well, you can have 1. Maybe she only really wants 1. Maybe we're part of the setup. Also, watch out. You might have that toxoplasmosis that you get from huffing the turds. That you can get that. If there's too much cat poop, it makes you nutty. It makes you want more cats. So you want to go up from 2 to 4.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Smelling like that, inhaling the chemicals in cat poo makes you.
Yeah. If you huff their turds too much, they make you want more. That's how it's another level of conniving.
Cats are devious. Chemically devious.
Smell my shit. Love me even more for it. What kind of creature does that?
None I know of. That is wild.
Listen, I'm gonna live in your house. All right.
Yeah.
Sure. You're gonna get me a box. I crap in that box. That's what I'm gonna do in your house. You're gonna clean it up. And if you don't, there's gonna be even more cats. You'll want even more of us. And then it's gonna be more turds you don't clean up. Soon, just cats. Whole house is cats. We start with the soft parts of your body first as soon as you pass.
If you looked at like the breakdown on a sheet of paper for all the stuff that comes with like with the chemicals and the shit, and like the bargain you're signing, you're like, wait a minute.
Oh no. It's a fully
and this thing doesn't
deal.
give a fuck about me and just climbs on everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
You think Egyptians worshipped them? No, it's just because those pyramids, they didn't have the smell couldn't get out. So you cat shits in a pyramid. It just collects at the top. It doesn't dissipate.
You're smelling, you're just inhaling that cat shit all the time. You're like,
that's it.
We gotta get more cats.
Now they're making giant statues of them, the human faces. That's what happens. That's where you're at the ground level of this caller. You just want 2 more cats. Next thing you know, giant sandstone sculptures of them in your yard.
You want to be a cat, and you're like those people that were like crying because they couldn't be one of the Avatar fucking Native American ripoff aliens. Like they're just like, why can't I live in that world? The tree loves me for real. And it's like that mentality. You're like, why can't I just be a cat? Because you can't.
I think part of this is your elaborate ruse to get 1 more cat. Otherwise, go with the 2 are going to die already. And that's that route.
Look, they're gonna. Yeah, and then when you get the new cats, another forged document. A month later, they're cured.
Yeah.
So wow.
Or you hide the 2 cats. You give them to a neighbor for a few weeks. Like, oh, they ran away together. Milo and Otis style. Well, I guess we got to get a couple new ones, and then you get the old ones came back.
Oh shit, that's another devious solution. That's perfect. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that one too.
I'm here to offer bad advice, man.
Nice. This is good. Yeah. Okay, we're on 3. All right, great. So let's roll the next call. Hope that helps, lady.
Hey, Matt and Kyle. This is Kyle from Lancaster, PA. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's your beards, but I feel like I can trust you guys with car advice. I drive a 25-year-old pickup truck that finally died, and I think it's going to take quite a bit of work to keep it on the road. And I'm wondering, do I dump the money into it and maybe have some credit card debt, or do I finally say goodbye to this truck and get a lease or a loan for a car and then have a car payment? I don't really have any money to put down, so either way I'm looking at debt or payment. And just wondering, what do you think my best option would be to get back on the road? And I need to be able to transport a kayak. That's non-negotiable. I got to transport the kayak. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Kayak-based work.
Wow. Okay.
You could transport a kayak on the top of any vehicle.
Yeah, pretty much.
With a roof rack.
Pretty much anything.
Well, not that I know much, but you didn't go into what died on the vehicle. We're talking transmission, full engine replacement.
Yep.
25 years. This sucks. 25 years ago was 1996.
Jesus
or
Christ.
97 even.
God. Good math. Good math. Reeling that right off your top of your head.
I did that earlier when he said that. I tried to that's going to be way sooner than we think. So it's not like a year of truck that was like this classic. Like I don't think any mid 90s vehicle is going to be considered a classic.
This isn't. Yeah, it's so funny when you're 25 years old. You're like, oh, has it got giant rounded edges? Did your grandfather own it?
Oh,
nope.
Yeah, I'm keeping this Mercury Sable in a plastic bubble in my garage to preserve that fucking sweet cherry couch blue we got it in.
Is that an actual Pontiac Fiero? Wow.
Honestly, I think a Fiero will have ironic resurgence more than just a Ford Tempo.
I just remember Mick Betancourt's bit about my wife's having a child, haven't decided on a name, but we're thinking Dream Crusher. Or that joke, and he was like,
yeah.
And he's like, the thing of name your kid anything joke. We're like, Dream Crusher, baseball practice over, and he's like, get in the Fiero, or that get in the Fiero always made me laugh. Like you still have that shitty half-ass sports car.
Yeah. I want a 2-seater, but it should also suck.
It should look stupid.
I want a 2-seater where it only needs the driver's seat because somebody's going to be too embarrassed to be seen in this with me. Yeah, those Sidewinder things are those like 3-wheeled midlife crisis vacation wagons. Those sleds are out on the road.
Yep.
Which I bet they're so much fun to drive because you look like a fucking loser behind the wheel.
Oh my God, they're terrible.
So they have to be that much fun to know, like, I'm gonna look like a shithead today because I want to have fun.
Yeah, like you should be screaming at the top of your lungs, "I'm in a rocket!" Like at every stoplight, at every like a child. Any
sex crime that happens in the time frame that you've rented one of those, you can be considered a suspect.
You're on the list. You're immediately profiled.
Yeah. Do you have one of these rattlesnake Suzuki rattlesnakes or whatever they're called? Sorry, man. We need to bring you in for questioning.
So listen, there's a couple, honey. There's a couple guys with gold badges on their belts and suits that are just standing.
Did you get a purple tricycle? Did you rent a purple tricycle?
Really
drive up and down Michigan Avenue all afternoon. You did? All right. Well, we got.
Why are there 2 Lincoln Town cars blocking our driveway with men getting out? Each one of the mustache to a man. Everyone has a mustache.
I'm sorry. Are these your wraparound sunglasses? We need to. We found them,
sir.
Let's see.
Do you have any Guy Fieri tattoos? Can we see them?
We followed the flames, Hero.
We listened to the worn out Jimmy Buffett CD that was emanating from your.
I want to. Oh no, that's definitely more of a hard rock. I think if you're in that thing, you're not.
You're
not chilling in a.
Oh no, you're right.
V8 powered tricycle.
Yeah, you've just left the first circle of hell, the most non-punishing circle.
You got a Kid Rock demo in that car.
Kid Rock. There's some new metal. there's some chrome polished heavy metal that's coming out of your speaker.
But to help our caller, I'd say, man, 25-year-old truck, unless you got like a Tacoma or something, or a Frontier or something Japanese worth saving.
Yeah.
Not that I know that much about it, but I don't know, buddy. I'd say go ahead. Although bad time to buy a new car. Supply
it is
chain,
like
chips. These are things I've heard about online.
There's no inventory. Yeah. I would look into maybe getting a loan and buying a nicer used car, perhaps, if you can find one. But it is, again, inventory. So you might, the situation at hand might have made the decision for you. I don't know.
Can you just kayak? Can you just kayak for the time being until you get a new truck?
It's possible the kayak to work.
Well, the fact that the kayak was necessary makes me think that the kayak you could exist.
He's like non-negotiable, as if either one of us would be like, "Oh, just take that kayak and throw it in the fucking trash." What are you doing?
Yeah,
that'll fix your car.
A kayak is never fit on any other vehicle other than a pickup truck. I've never seen a kayak ever transported.
I just like that it was introduced. It sounds like the what dumb movie or something that was that in where like, oh, it was Kids in the Hall where the guy's like, or try it now. And he's not doing anything that he doesn't know anything about engines. And the guy keeps trying to start it and he like polishes the hood and he's like, okay, try it now. Like, it sounds like, let me take the kayak off. Does it work?
Yeah. It's a real,
is the engine no longer, is the engine block no longer cracked? What if I put it back? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think just kayak for the time being as your mode of transportation.
Just
keep the kayak on top of the truck.
Yeah.
Get one of those gondolier posts. And just tell people, transmission's out. And
your
just stay
shoulders,
in the kayak on top.
Your shoulders will be magnificent after a week of going to and from work.
You can cut a hole in the bottom of the kayak so you can stand in it in the bed of the truck, but the kayak's around your body.
Yes. Just
listen, I don't have an answer, so I just want to make this as complicated
look on Google
as
Maps
possible.
And go from your house to work, and go past rideshare, walking, and driving. See if there's one that's just tributaries, that's just tiny rivers.
Why is Google Maps not providing waterways?
Oh,
you don't know how I live. You don't know how I live, man.
I don't know. I'm
as the crow flies, Google Maps.
Okay. Get your Bluetooth and blast some Limp Bizkit. Yeah. Okay. Hope that helps. Okay, let's do one more call, and we have so many calls for you. Would you be down to do another episode right after this?
Let's do it. Let's double it up.
Fucking A. Okay, let's do the next call.
Hey, Matt, Kyle, this is Kevin Titt here. I met you, Matt, at the Auto Bar recently for your show. My band was playing downstairs. I was a black dude who was there. Kyle,
hey,
I met you doing shows at Fest or Altercation. Most recently, I was on a show with you at Gilman.
Man.
I just want to know, from your guys' perspective as professionals, am I too ugly to make it in this business? Thank you. Hey, Matt.
Jesus Christ. What?
The irony is that you can't be too ugly.
You can't be.
It's if you fall in the middle ground, you're screwed.
Interesting. Yeah, he's not an ugly guy. I don't know what he's talking about. What kind of self-image does this guy have?
I gotta look. Listen. If I didn't remember what you look like, Kevin, it means you didn't offend me visually.
He doesn't. He's an interesting, like he's one of those guys. You're like, oh, are you a cool musician, dude? He struck me as a cool musician, dude, and didn't strike me as like one of those weird. He didn't look like Mick Mars or something, like where it's just like, oh God, what happened to you?
I think the idea of beauty as it is right now is interesting over traditional attractiveness. So I mean, if you want to do something like chip your tooth on purpose, like one of these method actors,
sure.
Or I always wanted a gold tooth.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't just get it for fashion. I would have to like knock one out and be like, well, I'll get a gold tooth for right now.
There was a trend back in the day in Portland where it was like people that were like getting a tooth knocked out or something, we're just leaving it out for character to like look fucking, street or country. But I was like, how many teeth are you getting knocked? How many times are people getting teeth knocked out? Like, what's happening? How much hockey are you playing, or how much shit are you talking to scary guys? I don't understand.
Yeah.
How are you losing all these teeth?
My defense, I mean, people drink and skateboard too. Don't forget about that.
There you go. That's it.
And also, I would just say, like a fake. If you don't have the money to get a full rack, and you got to get one fake tooth, like you could tell. Like you could tell, you had to get one tire from the used car shop.
Yeah, one beautiful gleaming ivory tusk. Everything else is brown.
Kevin, I think you're a beautiful man, Kevin, and I think you should lean in to your comedian. You can't be too ugly to be a comedian.
No, you're a comedian, and you.
Somebody should tell people they're too attractive. I'm sick of hot comedians.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Comedians,
right? I think it's like I will give it to Matthew Broussard, who had to overcome his extreme handsomeness, jock look, but he actually writes amazing jokes, and he's a good guy, and
I know. And there are funny people about that. Yeah.
And you got someone like Jeselnik, who definitely thinks he's as hot as Matthew Broussard, but he has a weird long head. I mean, it's like there's all kinds. I just think it's. I had to pick another friend and shit on him.
Let's get Anthony on the phone. He's been listening in.
Anthony.
I'm the guy from Dateline now, but Anthony is.
You can both fuck yourselves. I'm too hot. Yeah. Good old Stone Sinatra.
Lean into it.
Lean into it, Kevin.
Uglier.
You got a cool look, and you just struck me as like a cool musician guy who's also funny. You can't beat that. I play punk rock, and I'm a comedian. Am I too ugly for this business? Shut the fuck up, Kevin. You're in the right biz.
You're in the exact right corner of the world.
The right one. Yeah. I remember hanging out with like Dwyer and the Broken West guys, and like meeting bands and doing like doing fucking hipster festivals in LA and shit with you. And anytime I'd meet like a really, really good looking musician guy, he'd be like, "Oh, you're a comedian?" You're like, "Yeah." Like, huh? All right, okay. Like it's a challenge. This guy's pissed because he never made anyone smile. You're just like, ugh, you brooding, boring man. What will happen when your looks fade?
Yeah, that guy has the same attitude while he pours coffee at Intelligentsia in his early 50s right now. So let's not worry about it.
And they won't let him near the espresso machine. No, he's just there to work the register.
Machine.
Oh,
yeah, you're doing great, Kevin.
You're doing good, Kev.
He played downstairs at Autobar. Wasn't I telling you who was playing?
Fuck, I forgot the good band that was playing.
So, I think the Ergs were playing or something. There was like a good show there.
Yeah, Kevin had a tattoo of them. They had to be good. Maybe
of the band that was playing.
Forget. Damn it. Okay.
We did Gilman Street, legendary punk venue, Gilman Street, a couple years ago together.
Oh, right on. Yeah, Autobar was
drinking.
Autobar was incredible. It was the perfect way to end the year. Like it was like I called it, your alcoholic grandpa's den. Like that room is so good. It's just like being in a Midwestern den that has its own bar. So good. Nice. The Ergs. Found it. The Ergs. That's who was playing. Yeah, it was great. Okay, well, let's wrap this episode.
Cool.
And guys, tune in next week for the next 5 or 6 calls.
Oh, I've got shit on my shirt this whole time.
For fun, unqualified advice, call 323-763-0228. Next week's episode is the continuation, part 2 with Kyle Kinane. Check it out. This Might Help with Matt Braunger was created and hosted by me, Matt Braunger. Produced by Outer Circle Media. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.